It's your first week at the job you worked years to get. Your manager forwards you an email. 3 sentences. The numbers from the Berlin team don't match ours. Can you figure out why? Need it by Thursday. That's it. No instructions, no textbook chapter, no worked example at the back of the book. You don't even know which number she means. And there is no one in the building who already knows the answer and is just waiting to see if you'll find it. For the first time in your life, the problem is real, and you freeze. You were a good student, maybe a great one. You knew how to study. You knew how to find the answer. So why does this feel like the floor just disappeared? Here's the strange part. It's not that you're not smart enough. It's that nobody ever let you practice the one thing this moment requires. There's a skill underneath every real job. It doesn't have a clean name. Call it problem solving under ambiguity. Facing a problem that has no answer key, no teacher to confirm you're right, missing information, a deadline, and a fog where the solution should be. Every job needs it. Almost no school teaches it. To understand why, you have to look at what school actually trains. Walk into almost any classroom on Earth. The problems on the board all share 3 secret features. 1. They have an answer, a known, single, correct answer. 2. Someone in the room already knows it. The teacher has the answer key in a drawer. 3. All the information you need is right there on the page. Nothing is missing, nothing is hidden. This is what a problem comes to mean to you. Something that has been solved before by someone smarter who is now checking whether you can retrieve their answer. And you get good at it. Incredibly good. You learn to scan for the method you're supposed to use. You learn that confusion means you missed a step, not that the step doesn't exist. You learn that there is always a step. For 12 years, sometimes 20. And then Thursday arrives. In 1945, a psychologist named Carl Duncker described something he called functional fixedness. He gave people a candle, a box of tacks, and a book of matches. The task? Attach the candle to the wall so it burns without dripping on the floor. Most people froze. They tried to tack the candle to the wall, it split. They tried to melt it on, it fell. The answer was sitting in front of them. Empty the box of tacks. Tack the empty box to the wall. Stand the candle in the box. The box was a shelf the whole time, but they couldn't see it because they'd been told it was a container for tacks. Once a thing has a label, your mind stops asking what else it could be. That's the trap. School hands you every object pre-labeled. This is a use the quadratic formula problem. This is a find the theme problem. You learn to read the label and reach for the tool. Real problems don't come with labels. The Berlin email is just a box of tacks. Nobody tells you it's secretly a shelf. And here's where it gets worse. In 1988, 3 researchers, Jean Lave and her colleagues, ran a study that became famous. They followed shoppers around a California supermarket, ordinary adults. In the aisles, doing price comparisons, these people were almost perfectly accurate, working out which jar was the better deal per ounce, about 98% correct. Then the same people were given the same math on a paper test, formal arithmetic. Their scores collapsed down to around 59%. Same brains, same math. The only thing that changed was the setting. In the real aisle with a real choice, they reasoned beautifully. On the test, they froze and reached for half-remembered rules. The lesson isn't that school math is useless. It's that the skill of solving a real problem and the skill of passing a test about that problem are 2 different skills, and we spend our entire youth practicing only one of them. So picture the brilliant student, straight A's, top of the class, then dropped into a job, a startup, a lab. And something humiliating happens. They wait. They wait for the assignment to be clearer. They wait for someone to confirm they're on the right track. They wait for the answer key that is never, ever coming. Meanwhile, the average kid who spent summers fixing engines that didn't come with a manual, who ran a tiny failing business, who had to figure out why the thing wouldn't work with no one to ask, that kid moves, tries something, it fails, tries something else. We mistake this for talent. It isn't talent. It's reps. It's 1,000 small encounters with problems that had no back of the book. And here is the turn. You did not fail to learn this skill. You were never allowed to practice it. Think about it. Where in all those years was the assignment with no known answer? The project where the teacher honestly said, "I don't know either. Go find out." The problem where half the information was simply missing on purpose. Like life? There almost never was one. Not because anyone was cruel. A class of 30 needs a grading key. A grading key needs a right answer. A right answer means the problem was already solved before you ever saw it. The whole machine is built to deliver solved problems, and a solved problem is the one kind of problem you will almost never meet again after you leave. So the freeze you felt on Thursday wasn't a sign you were stupid. It was the first honest problem anyone had ever handed you. The skill builds only one way, by doing the messy, real thing before anyone hands you the answer, by being wrong out loud with something actually at stake, by sitting in the fog long enough that your mind stops waiting for a teacher and starts hunting on its own. There's a quiet word for this. The Hadza child learns to hunt by hunting badly beside adults for years. The apprentice ruins 100 joints before cutting one clean. Nobody hands them the answer key. There isn't one. There never was. We are the first humans in history to spend our entire youth being protected from unsolved problems. And then we wonder why the unsolved ones feel like the floor disappearing. So go back to that email. 3 sentences, a deadline, a fog. You staring at the screen, certain you must have missed the chapter. You didn't miss the chapter. This is the chapter. The one nobody assigned. The one that only begins the moment you realize no one is coming to check your work. And you start anyway, with no answer key. Down by the Numbers from Berlin. Sign up for free at ewens.com.